Good morning, Kona, and everyone watching and listening at home. We are here with the 4th episode in our Watch the Women of Kona series. I'm Sarah Gross, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Kelly O'Mara. Good morning, Kelly.
I think it only took us 4 days to not talk through going live accidentally.
You know, there's still time to do that.
Right, sure.
There's still more days. And Alyssa Godesky is here in the studio with us from the IronWomen podcast. She's a longtime pro Ironman athlete and also owns a number of records on trails, long trails, multiple days, things I can't even imagine doing.
I can see you struggling to explain what Alyssa's doing these days.
We're not going to get into that. She's an amazing athlete in summary. But most of you will know her from the IronWomen podcast.
Hi, ladies. I'm excited to be here on the sparkly pink mic today. And 4's my lucky number, so that wasn't even planned. 4th day being here.
It's going to be a good day. Yeah. Good vibes. Because today's theme is Kona vibes. Everyone's talking about the vibes here because we have the all women's race, and everyone's like, how are the vibes? Is it different? So we're going to talk about that. We want to thank, though, first our sponsors, Bonk Breaker, Salt Stick, Wahoo, Kerr Sports, Pillar, and Orca. Woo! Thank you so much for supporting us in this endeavor to be here. And we're going to run our intro and we'll be back.
Turn directions will help you explore new roads. The Element Rival Multisport Watch delivers a simple yet powerful user experience. Unique multisport features like touchless transition, multisport handover, and perfect view zoom create a seamless performance advantage whether training for a race or competing. To learn more about the Element Bolt and Element Rival, head to wahoofitness.com. From Core are designed with one thing in mind, reducing your aerodynamic drag so you can go faster with no additional effort. Looking to shave a few minutes off your Ironman bike? Core's Zeal Tri-Kit is here for you. It's perfect for fast days, recovery days, and everything in between. All of Core's triathlon clothing is created specifically to fit, flatter, and perform when training and racing, so you can fully focus on being awesome. And you can get 15% off all clothing at coresports.com with the code RDAY. That's 15% off at coresports.com with the code RDAY.
Focus on the Instagram.
Okay. And we are back here in Kona with Alyssa Godesky. Alyssa, you arrived last night. What made you decide to come to Kona this year?
Well, this is obviously a very special year. Obviously, to be in Kona with the all women's race. It felt like, so I'm currently, for people watching, you can see this giant knee brace I'm wearing. For people listening, I am wearing a giant knee brace. I have to move around on crutches, keep my leg locked straight when I'm moving around. It's not easy to travel, but I just felt like there was no way I could really miss the first year that women have their own day at the World Championships. Having that be in Kona is extra special, I feel like, because 2015, when we started the 50 Women to Kona campaign, that was the beginning of the wave of momentum to push Ironman for equality, push for that equal day, equal pro slots, media coverage, a fair race, all of that. And there's still plenty that can be worked on with things, but I mean, it's just such big progress, and it's so special to finally have this day have come to fruition. So I knew I wouldn't miss it. I couldn't.
Well, we are glad you're here.
Thanks.
Let's go get straight into it and talk about the vibes, because this is something people come up to us and say how are the vibes?
It's weird. I think I'm convinced triathletes just learn the word vibes.
I think so.
Yeah. From us.
But
so guys, how are the vibes?
Are you vibing? What's the vibe?
Yeah. I drove down. So I drove through from the airport down, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going the longest way possible, which will be through
you rolled the
Central.
town. Yeah.
Okay. But I had to see, who am I still relevant? Like, do I see anyone? So I told there were vibes. I think there were vibes.
Good or bad vibes?
Good vibes. Good vibes. Great vibes.
Great vibes.
Everything that I expected to be packed was packed.
Here's my other new
Lava
favorite.
Java.
Was it giving race week? I'm just trying to teach everyone all the 20-something
Oh, the
phrases.
vibes of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a concern, that the industry wouldn't show up, right? So there was a concern that that without the men somehow it wouldn't be the same. But
Right.
this feels like a world championship race.
Yes.
It does feel like a little bit different, and I think we're going to get into that later.
Sure.
There's not the aggressive energy, perhaps. I don't like to stereotype men and women, but it's a little bit lower.
You just need more aggression from me, is
That's
what I'm
right.
hearing, to even it out.
Kelly's filling in the aggression void.
I think there might be a lot of shopping vibes too. So I
There's
did
a lot
talk
of merch being sold. Everyone's selling a lot
I
of merch.
talked to one of the large triathlon retailers, right? And they said they sold out of most of the
they're
good
selling
stuff
out of everything,
2 days ago, basically. So that's a
Mhm.
lesson too to future merchandise sales. Get here and over order.
Yeah, no, that's true. But yes, we are going to talk all vibes today. And first, we're going to start with, we talked to Marlynn Stutzman, she's trying to be the first autistic woman to do both Kona and Boston in the same year. And she told us kind of, what triathlon means to her.
Marathon this year, and if you finish, you'll be the first autistic woman to do Boston and Kona in the same year. So you have to finish, of course. So what are you going to tell yourself when you're out there?
I need to finish and kill it. And do it with my friend Casey.
Oh, is she racing too?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys been training together?
She's been training with me, coaching me, and telling me for hydration and all of it. She's amazing.
What were some of your questions about Ironman then that she had to answer?
A lot of it was about hydration. And what to lose when you're on the course. She showed me, on the course we use Gary Endurance. Sure. So I bought a bunch of it and trained with it to make sure I liked it.
Yeah, did you like it?
I love it.
And so you started out as a swimmer, and then how did you get into triathlon?
So yeah, I started a swimmer. I've been swimming since I was 2 years old. I'm 25 now. Okay. And now I had a friend, Jeff. He was 8 years old and he went to the rec center. He said, you should try to do a triathlon. So I did my first sprint triathlon in 2019, and that's how I fell in love with triathlons.
You fell in love with it? What was it about it that you liked?
I just like the challenge, the competition, and it felt like I was at home.
Well, how, just with all the people or with the sport or?
The sport, because I felt like I was good at swimming, running, and biking.
Oh, and bike. 'Cause I know you're a fast swimmer and a fast runner, but you're also good at biking, you're saying?
Yes.
Well, that's good. That's handy.
Yeah.
And so your first sprint triathlon was in 2019.
So obviously Marlynn felt like she found, a place in triathlon. And I think a lot of people, that's why they do triathlon. They feel like they found their people
and their place
and their sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Is that for you? Except I'm looking at you as you left triathlon. I'm like, so Alyssa.
But it is. I'm always surprised that you can still come back and some things don't change. And that's just the community vibe.
Yeah.
The community vibe.
The community vibe.
Yeah.
People feel it.
Well, and I think it's like to our point that, this feels like a world championship. There's 2,000 women here who are racing. It still feels like that same community, whether we have a single gender race or not.
Definitely. The nerve vibe is still here.
The nervousness.
The people are nervous.
The nervous
vibe,
vibe, yeah. The pre-race. Yeah, I guess we'll be feeling that pre-race energy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Vibe this week.
We've been doing a lot. And from the studio, there's a lot going on.
Okay.
And there's not a lot of nervous energy in the studio here.
So I'm answering the logs from my athletes racing, and there's definitely some nervousness.
Okay.
It's fully
Behind the scenes
Yeah,
nervous
we did
energy.
the first timers event yesterday because there's a record number of first timers,
Right.
and yeah, they have all the usual questions, right? Well, how do I get a headlamp? Right, those kinds of things. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so one of the women we talked to earlier in the week was Ruth Astle.
Astle?
Yes. We're having trouble talking on day 4. We talked to her right after the training from last week, and she was kind of saying some of these concerns that we've been hearing, like that it just wasn't going to be big enough. I think there was a nervousness to wait and see, like, is there going to be enough people? Is it going to be full? And so we talked to her right after the training. So
yeah, and I think she articulated some of the fears that like we heard kind of independently from the pro women, like when this announcement was first made that it was going to be a women's only race, like just those like, will we still be able to make money? Essentially, is what they're concerned about. Of course, did you hear that too?
I kind of wrote it off. It was like, why are we worrying about this?
Right.
But I think it was just like the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited to hear what Ruth has to say about what you saw.
In terms of like the feel though, actually I thought it was going to feel really empty. I thought it was going to feel like really not much atmosphere, not many people around, but it's like the swim this morning, I like felt like there were more people here. It actually feels like there's loads of people out here supporting as well, which also seems quite good. So definitely still massively feels like a world champs, and like all the hype is here. And actually it's quite nice not having loads of like age group men just like trying to zoom past you when you're out on the bike.
I wasn't going to say, but yeah.
I was like, and I know I'm going to get shit for that, but it's actually really nice. You can just ride and you're like, I can just ride my own pace and it's nice.
People saying it's nice in like a weird way to not have, like the men doing the thing where they like won't let you pass them, not having like all that energy, all those vibes. and it's also been, and this is what I've been hearing from a lot of people, that they didn't really think through like how amazing it is to see this many strong women. Like somebody messaged me last night and was like, I didn't realize what it would mean to my daughter.
Right.
To see like all women doing everything and like men in the supportive role for a change. So it's been big.
Yeah, and I think the competitive vibes are definitely here, right? Because I know in last week's IronWomen that I did with Rachel Joyce, like I expected, honestly, every year we do a pre-race show, and it's like so many people aren't there, right? And this year everyone's here. Like people did not drop, right? And so it was nearly impossible to like pick favorites or whatever. I think everyone is truly showing up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that from the pro women that we've been talking to like in the last 10 days or so. Like they are here to rank. Like there's definitely this kind of like unsaid acknowledgement that like this is our platform, this is an opportunity, and they seem to know that to be like bringing it.
Right. It's definitely another level of not stress, but responsibility. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to nail this. But it's been it's been really nice. I think they've all been pleasantly surprised. Yes, with the vibes.
That's the vibe I get.
Of the vibes.
Yeah, of the vibes is that the people we've talked to, they're pleasantly surprised, like Ruth was, about like how much of a world championship this really is. Yeah, of course. And then we have a lot of pros we talked to today, a lot of clips, because we did spend the last 2 weeks now, we've been here for a while, talking to the pro women. And so we talked to Mel McQuaid, who is the oldest pro woman at 50, and she made some great points, I think, about why this was so important to have this women's only race.
Having like an all women's Ironman.
Well, I
like flowers fell from the sky.
Okay, so one thing I know as an elite female athlete and as a coach is that we really respond to competition and seeing somebody else do something. I think that's when I'm trying to teach somebody lines mountain biking, if a girl rides the line, then the other girls are going to try it. If it's a guy, it doesn't have the same effect at all, right? So I think visibility matters, and I think when you give not just incredible athletes, but incredible humans. Like if you ask about what the stories are behind most of these women that are here, it's like Overachievers Anonymous, basically this whole race, right? So if you shine a light on this kind of women, then it's gonna spread, to all their different communities and all the people they train with, their families and whatever, and it just is gonna help to build from underneath, like that next group that's going to come up and be inspired by this. And I just think it's amazing to spend the day just celebrating women's sports and women athletes, because when you give them the light, they'll just reflect it back. Amazing. Like, it's going to be an incredible show.
All right, Alyssa, we were just talking. So you have 19 athletes. So we're talking. Mel was talking about how all these women, then they're high achievers. They're going to go back to their community. So you have 19 people here racing.
Yeah,
and they're going to go.
I should say I don't personally coach
Sure.
all 19 of them, but I coach 3 of them, and then we have 3 of the coaches on Biscay Coaching Racing. One of the pro athletes, Alex Watt. So, and then head coach Hillary Biscay is here. So yeah, 19 people.
Right, and then they all go back into their community
all over the world and infiltrate to express, like, be active, do sports, come to world championships when you qualify, right? Like all of these things. So it's really cool to see. It's like a phone tree.
A phone tree. There you go.
It's like the telephone game.
The telephone. So they go back home and say, the vibes were great.
The vibes were great.
You can do it. You should do it. And then next year there's more people, and it takes a while for that phone tree to activate.
Yeah, it does. Well, it's like one of those things, like we always say, like, if you can see it, you can be it.
Sure.
But like sometimes actually realizing that, okay, instead of having 700 women here like we used to, now there's 2,100. Like with 3 times the number,
Right.
there's 3 times the amount of impact. Totally.
Right.
No, I think it's bound to be a really good thing.
Yeah, and the 2,100 number is funny because we were also laughing. So Sarah and I have been here for a week and a half, and last week no one believed us that it was 2,100. Like people were like, "No, I've heard it's only going to be 1,200," and you're like, "No, seriously, like Ironman."
We have the number.
Like I have it, and they're like, "No, that's not what I heard."
And then they were almost insinuating that we've been lied to, like we drank the Kool-Aid. You know, and well, I've been told for so long that there's only so much space on the beer. How did they find the space on the beer?
They're like, we've also been told in all fairness that there aren't enough women. There aren't that many women, right? We've been told over and over, like there aren't 2,000 women that can do Kona. So I think in some ways this like infiltrated their brain. They listened to too many. Even I at one point coming out of the East, Sarah knows this. I got talked out of it. I listened to enough dudes tell me there aren't 2,000 women, and I was like, I was like, well, I got, it's gonna take some time to get in my head. No. There are 2,100 women here.
Yeah,
like I believed myself.
Yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, like at the beginning, we knew before we were talked out of it.
And the other thing, obviously, that we've hearing a lot about the 2,100 is that they don't deserve to be here, right? Like there's this argument out there that like it just got too easy. Ironman is handing out spots, which there are multiple levels of which that's stupid. One is that it's a world championship race. The people here all follow the process to get it. They earned it, whatever that earning it was, whether or not it was just doing an Ironman, whether or not it was winning their age group, whether or not it was qualifying 2 years ago and having it roll over because some people had that, right? And there are all kinds of ways to get here, and they got here. And I keep coming back to, are the 2,000 best women in the world racing for world title? Pretty much. Who gives a shit? Check how they got here. Check. Yeah. So I kind of don't care anymore about the argument.
Yeah, and so when we saw Haley Chura earlier in the week, and we keep repeating this story everywhere we go about her response. So I definitely wanted to play this clip.
There's been a few, I mean, we've seen these things in the media, like, it's gotten too easy for the women to qualify, blah, blah, blah. But really, we just have, the same number of slots as the men, and that we should have had all along, you know what I mean? So I feel like anything we can do to make women feel like they belong here, everyone who qualified had, a great race at Ironman and belongs here, you know?
I mean, I will fight anyone who says that. You can slide into my DMs at HaleyChura23, and we'll set up a boxing match. I will win, or we'll set up a swimming match, and I will win. But no, or we just chat it out. But not until after Saturday. But I gotta stay healthy till then. But I just think I've done 20-something Ironmans. None of them have been easy. None of them. So to say that it's easy to get here is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And so again, I that argument, I'm I will refute it in every single possible way. Some with actual data and logic, and then some with just me saying you're an idiot. So, but I have no patience and no time for that.
I love that.
We're just sitting here talking about how amazing that clip was.
Haley, I would bet on you any day in a boxing match.
I would love to know if people at home, who would they bet on? Would you bet on Haley? I mean, when she's shifted to the swim off, then it's no contest.
Take anyone. It's fine. Yeah. I also appreciated a lot of people coming from I might take it to that. Right?
Right? Yeah. We should set that up.
We should set that up.
Sunday
I mean, I also appreciated that her point, look, I can fight this argument with data, with logic. I can tell you all the reasons why. I can crunch numbers, and some people have crunched numbers, and I'm like, times are not actually slower to qualify after this announcement than they were before the announcement. And we tell you, like, God damn it, it's 2023. This is dumb. Like, if there are 2,000 men racing world titles, there are 2,000 women racing world titles.
Yeah.
Get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
End of story, period.
End of story.
Yeah. And like back to Mel's point, right? Like even if the data came in that the women's field, there was like a bigger divergence between the first and last person in an age group, you know what I mean? Like you just have to allow the sport to develop, right? Like we've not been given that opportunity before. So like give it a minute, everybody.
Give it a minute. Let the phone tree activate.
Right, let the phone tree activate. And then in 5 years, get back to me, right?
Yeah,
Like tell me if you're qualifying still, Mr. Joe Schmo, right? Because everything's going to get faster now. Like the men's race will get faster too. And that with them, like
having
more people into their
they have extra slots. Yeah, they have extra slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to let the phone tree activate. And while the phone tree activates, I would like to emphasize everybody like hold like stay the course.
Yes,
it will be fine.
Yes, and if you ever question it or you need help with your arguments against people, just email one of us.
Slide to Haley's DM.
Haley first. Haley first, then all of us.
Exactly.
There are obviously, I mean, I think everyone knows logically there are huge advantages to having this women's only race, and the pro women, even like. There's mixed feelings on whether or not, you know, how much it affects the actual dynamics of the race, but everyone knows that, you know, you get the full stage, full broadcast. And Lisa Norden was actually pretty funny about, even when she watches races, she's like, wait, where's the women's race? So we talked to her a little bit about that opportunity.
Yeah. So you've never raced here when there was like the pro men were on the course with you?
No, I only raced like these super special Konas. So they're like the double whammy with a lot of people, and now girls only. But we only ever had our own race, which is super cool.
Yeah, and you would have only ever had your own race in ITU as well, right? Yeah. Do you like that? Do you think it's a good thing?
I think it's a brilliant thing. Mainly, like one part, obviously, because of the coverage. You get the coverage on you the whole day, which I think we do deserve. There was only yesterday the Gravel World Championships was racing, right, with no coverage.
Right? No. Leave it to the UCI.
Yeah, so like that I'm super proud of. And of course, if you have a men's race happening at the same time, like there's so many times where I'm watching an Ironman, and you have the camera on the leading guy, and it's like, but what's happening in the women's race? And you don't get to see it until after like the top three has finished and they had the cuddles and they had the presentation, and then you go back to the women's race.
Cuddles.
Like, oh, where is it?
So I appreciate that even Lisa Norden's like, where are the women? Why can't I see them on TV?
Yeah.
We have to watch the men with the cuddles.
The cuddles, I love the way that she made that point, because it is true. Like you have to watch like the top 10 come through the finish line and hug each other and all this stuff while you're waiting patiently for like, come on, that's great, men hugging, but like, I want to see the women's race.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think to the point of the fair race, I think this is going to really play into effect on Saturday with not only the pro race, but I think the age groupers are really going to see this. Like, I race as an amateur here twice, and like, I'm an average swimmer, right? So like, I was definitely helped by having men around on that course, right? And so it changed my race. It changed how I thought about racing and things like that. And so I think the age group women should really be excited, because I think, you know, you're at a world championship event, you're racing against the fastest women, and it's going to be more fair for you too. I think that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. I was thinking about this on a deep, like, I thought one of my, like, what even are borders moments. Like, what is life? And yeah, so I had this, like, deep moment where I was like, so we're so used to races where everyone gets together. And if you are someone, and for almost the people here are someone who's at the front of the age group, you are just accustomed to there being men all around. It always is like how it affects your race. And then you don't even realize that that's not how the equivalent man is racing. Like, that's not how the front age group men are racing until someday you do a race, and then you're like, oh my god, like I'm fine. Like there's actually no vibes. There's actually no one around you. Like if you in your head disappear all the men, you're like, actually you're here by yourself,
and you get to make your own vibes.
Yeah, you have to do your weird stop saying vibes. But yeah, it is a big impact. Obviously, having a women's only race changes the race. I just think it's going to be interesting as the phone tree activates, how it's going to affect in the future, because you are still qualifying at races where there are men, and it still is part of the ecosystem. Right. You get here. And you have to have a world championship that's fair and different.
Yeah,
you know,
no, exactly. You can't lean on the man on the swim and bike.
No,
you gotta be a full athlete. Speaking of, I know I'm like circling back, but like speaking of phone tree activation, you know, like our sport has seen how that works in several different ways. So if you go back a few years, you see the 74.3, they said people were saying the exact same thing.
Right. Yes.
When they founded the 70.3 World Championships, they said, it's too easy for women to qualify. They're handing out slots like candy.
They also said Clearwater was a terrible place, and that was a fair assessment.
Some of the assessments are fair.
Right.
You know, not all
Do you know I
comments are
met
bad.
Hulk Hogan in Clearwater when I went there to
Okay,
race?
take it back. Clearwater's amazing.
Hulk Hogan. Did you like go up to him?
Yeah, I took a picture of them in an Italian restaurant in Clearwater.
Wow. we're moving into an episode of If We Were Riding right now.
No, it's true. You're right. I mean, we've been talking a lot about this with the like the Iron people, a lot of the free start, like they're always like when ITU had equal spots, they were like, oh, the women aren't good enough. They shouldn't be here. We should have to give it time.
Yeah, and how like change, we talked about this yesterday, like how change has been part of the evolution of the sport, and people sometimes forget or they think like it's always been like this.
Mhm.
But we had like Mark Allen on our beginners panel yesterday, and I think he mentioned like the course itself has been changed like it's like seven times. Yeah, whereas like if we change the course now, people would be, what? The iconic course? You can't change it. Like
It actually changes a lot.
Yeah.
Change is good.
Change, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So on that note, after the break, we're going to talk to Michelle Vesterby and Chelsea Sodaro. But for now, let's hear from our partners.
Feisty goals is only possible when you fuel them. That's why we partnered with Bonk Breaker and Salt Stick to create the Feisty Fueled Box. Each box contains 2 PB&J energy bars, 2 PB&J protein bars, 2 packets of Rainbow Blast energy chews, 2 packets of the new OMG energy chews, 2 packets of Salt Stick fast chews, 3 stick packs of Salt Stick drink mix, 2 packets of Salt Stick capsules, and a Feisty sticker and custom card with product details, discounts, and fueling tips. That's over $40 worth of sports nutrition for just $30 plus free shipping. To order your box, head over to bonkbreaker.com/feistybox today. And you can get 20% off all other products at bonkbreaker.com and saltstick.com with the code FEISTY. Chasing epic is the essence of the Orca brand. It is about seeking the moments in life that make us feel truly alive and connected with the beauty of the world around us. There is something about being immersed in the open water, the crash of the waves, the roar of the wind, the taste of the salt water on your lips, and the warmth of the sunlight on your skin that makes you feel at home. With a history of designing performance wetsuits for triathletes since 1995, Orca's unwavering commitment to advanced, innovative swimwear empowers you to overcome your limits. Whether you're competing in a triathlon or swimming to challenge yourself, Orca's fit-for-purpose garments are designed to meet your needs. Use the code IronWomen15 for 15% off all items at orca.com. That's IronWomen15 for 15% off all items at orca.com. New Australian company with leading micronutrition products to solve problems for athletes, such as sleep. Our favorite product is their Triple Magnesium. Triple Magnesium features 3 select forms of bioavailable magnesium to support muscle health, reduce muscle cramps, relieve sleeplessness, and support nervous system health. We have all been using it, and it has been a game changer for our sleep and recovery scores. We love the berry flavor and take it with our shakers 30 minutes before bed every night. To try Pillar for yourself today, head to thefeed.com/pillar and use code FEISTY for 15% off your order. Or if you're outside the US, head to pillarperformance.shop and use the same code FEISTY.
Okay, we're back with more vibes.
I like in our vibes. Somebody just wandered into our compound and jumped in the pool.
Jumped in our pool. You know, that is the vibes that we're bringing. No, I definitely wanted to show this clip. I've sort of been waiting all week. Michelle Vesterby was one of the first people that we talked to last week. And she put a stamp on my arm because it's a rainbow. I don't know if you can see it, but they are helping fundraise for Mary Beth Ellis's fundraiser
for her daughter.
Yeah, so her daughter. So Mary Beth Ellis lost her daughter Sydney in May. And Sydney was, I mean, it was tragic. Like I think it rippled through the whole triathlon world. Like I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. She was hit in a crosswalk by a truck. And so they're raising money for road safety and other things for Sydney. And Michelle is kind of helping out with a fundraiser. So let's hear from her.
You put a tattoo on me. I don't know if they can see that over there, but I don't know. But what's this for?
This is for Sydney. we had Mary Beth Ellis and Eric Olsen. Mary Beth, I hope a lot of you girls and guys know her. She was a legend in the triathlon world.
She was a legend.
She was a legend. She raced here many times, and she's always just been such a good friend. I remember my first Hawaii. I actually get goosebumps. But my first Hawaii, Mary Beth was the one taking me around to all her sponsors. You know, she was so, you know, hey, meet Michelle. She's a nice Danish girl, and upcoming, you know, and you know, that friendship, you know, that joy to the sport and to give back. That was what I really truly remember Mary Beth Ellis for. And they lost, unfortunately, their 5-year-old girl, Sydney, back in May. And instead of just giving up, they are fighting, and they are trying to make the world a better place, to share the road, to make safety first. And they made this Sydney Foundation. Do they say foundation? Foundation. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's difficult actually. And I brought like 500 rainbows to Hawaii, which I would love everyone to wear. I know there will be 2,000 girls, but then for the kids run, come and get one. You can get one for free. If you want to give $1, if you want to give $2, I will put them all on the foundation. I will donate it afterwards. So if it's just easier for you, but you will also put a link here.
Yeah, we'll put a link wherever we post this to the foundation.
You want to give something, because what they are doing is making the roads a safer place. So,
yeah. Just so we understand. So, so Mary Beth Ellis's daughter, Sydney, she was hit by a truck, correct? Like in a crosswalk. Yeah. And so the foundation is raising money for road safety. Is that?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Okay, amazing.
And other things as well, you know. So I shouldn't say it's just that, but there's a lot of things they're doing to make for it to make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, that was such heartbreaking news, like sort of in the middle of the year. I think it like rippled around the triathlon world. Like we were all just kind of shook by that. So that's so amazing that you're doing something for them.
Yeah, Kessler did it as well when they were racing Mont Blanc, and again, a lot of people were wearing the rainbow, and it also gives you energy. So it's not just it will give everyone energy to send a bit of support and joy and
I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, and Michelle, what are you expecting for race day?
It'll be fun once you do it.
I think it's all right. We will be having the link to that fundraiser in the show notes, so be sure to click on it. And I feel like it's actually been interesting this week. There are a lot of people doing, fundraising and awareness campaigns, and it's actually maybe that's part of the whole like women getting back as they race.
Yeah, that was one of the points actually I didn't get to make earlier. Like we're often like back to vibes, just for a quick second. We're often comparing the vibes to like when the men are here, talking about what it's
maybe
like.
Maybe they should compare themselves to us.
Yeah. Actually, the fact that like yes, women also have competitive energy, but maybe there's more space for like the kind of kindness or the things that people are talking about when they say there's more like sort of feminine energy.
We were talking about this because somebody was saying, oh, well, the women just take up less space, right? Like emotionally, physically. And then I was like, I don't know if that's good. They were saying it was a good thing. And I was like, I don't know if that's good. Like, maybe we should take up more space. And then there's like, maybe men need to take up less. Maybe we should take up the right amount of space.
Take up the correct amount of space. Not too much.
Not too little.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of fundraisers going on too. And a lot of kind of, using triathlon as a platform. And so we went to Chelsea's event earlier this week, and I talked to her because she's been really, I talked to her a lot this year, and she's been really vocal about using her win last year to kind of raise awareness of not just like moms and athletes, but all the systemic barriers to like motherhood in the U.S., to maternal health. And so she is doing a fundraiser to raise money for Aunt Mother and all those issues.
Of course, like celebrate the title from last year and also bring awareness to a cause that I care a lot about, and that is And Mother. It was founded by a woman named Alicia Montano, who was my college teammate at UC Berkeley on the track team. She is a U.S. champion, Olympian, World Championship medalist, talent of a generation, and she has really been a mentor to me throughout my athletic career at different levels, and has been a huge advocate for athlete rights, maternal rights, and her nonprofit and Mother gives grants to postpartum athletes. They do a ton of advocacy work for moms, for maternal health and gender equity. And so I am collaborating with And Mother and Canyon, and we are going to be auctioning off my race bike to raise some money for this amazing cause.
Okay, so people can get your bike.
Yeah, you can enter a raffle to win my bike. It's going to have this really sick paint job. I'm calling it the Rainbow Explosion in homage to the world title, but it's got some really cool mantras on there. It's just a celebration of this cause and my mission of really showing what's possible for female athletes when we're supported as whole people.
Awesome.
So Chelsea has this rainbow bike. She also has a matching rainbow watch from Wahoo.
Amazing.
We went over to look at everything the other day. Because you can get like a custom band to that.
Shopping vibes.
Shopping vibes. That's what we're doing. And yeah, you can buy a raffle ticket to win it to raise money for And Mother and maternal health, which is, it's important. We were talking the other day. Everybody else was like, I just want there to be more people in triathlon. And I'm like, I want to fix systemic inequality.
I think it is interesting though, because I don't think you were there, right? Like the men generally aren't making themselves a platform for doing societal good, right? Which is like, come on, guys, I don't know. As an athlete, you have having that awareness to recognize that you are given this gift of the platform to actually make change is so important. And I'm just really grateful to see some of these athletes using that.
Yeah, I remember years ago, a woman, I'm so sorry, I don't remember her name, but she did a study around why people take up endurance sport, and the number one reason was to raise money for something else. Which is really interesting, because I thought it was going to be like community or something, something like that.
Get fit, yeah.
Get fit.
Go
exactly.
fast.
But it was not that. It was the get fit was the bonus.
That is so insane, though. The one time I was volunteering at a 10K, and people come by and they're like, "What is this 10K for?" And I was like, "To see who's fastest." I don't know what to say to that. So, you also can race. Just race. It's fine.
And speaking of seeing who's fastest,
right? We have to say one of the things Alyssa and I were very concerned about vibes. Very concerned about vibes. Was that we have the unofficial beer mile that happens every year in Kona, and so Alyssa and I. It's not a feisty event. It's a Kelly's going to be out there.
Is Alyssa going to be out there?
Well, she has a knee brace.
If anyone, you can slide into my DMs and tell me if you want to be my runner. And you can drink seltzer, you can drink non-alcoholic beers.
It's a pretty, what's the word we're looking for? It's a pretty, it goes with the vibes. Yeah, it's a pretty low-key beer mile, 5:30 Old Airport, bring your own drinks. They can be non-alcoholic, they can be alcoholic. You can 5:30 on Friday. It's always Friday before the race. So 5:30 on Friday at the Old Airport.
I actually found my video of when I ran it in 2015. Sure.
Was there puking?
Actually, with Karen Thibodeau and I went head to head.
Yeah.
Oh, I know there was puking for Karen, but there's a lot of perfect.
We've also established that apparently you can have a designated drinker.
Well,
we have no rules.
You have to come with a brace or crutches or doctor's note that you can't run or drink for your part, and then we'll allow relays.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing! If anyone wants to be my designated drinker, slide into my DM. I will run a mile for you.
So we were just, you gotta have all, Kona's also about all the other things that happen. So
it's super fun. I have some good memories of that from previous years. So it'll be going on, you guys.
Yeah, there's other things going on.
There are many other things.
Like the press conference this morning. We'll be heading over.
Yeah, if you're racing,
don't do that.
Probably don't.
Probably sleeping.
They definitely needed us to tell them.
Yeah.
It's great, it's a fun event, but not that fun.
Yeah.
Don't be tempted by that for the people racing.
So there are still a lot of other things around. We are headed to the pro press conference later today, and then tomorrow's show, our last pre-race show, will be a race preview, and we'll be back on Sunday with a post race with all the interviews.
And sign up for our contest online. Check our Instagram, and we have $1,600 worth of prizes from our partners. So there's lots of chances to win too.
Yeah.
Winning vibes. Exactly. All right. Until tomorrow. Thank you, Alyssa.